You're probably watching me for the first time. If so, hi, I am Kira, and this is my very own GT650. Misa. Do you remember that time when your younger self saw a superbike, or when you rode a motorcycle for the first time? For me, I rode my uncle's HF Deluxe for the first time when I was just around 14. That too secretly because my uncle wouldn't trust me with riding a bike for the first time. But did it stop me from riding the bike? Nah, not at all. Me and my cousin, we somehow secretly sneaked out with the bike and started fighting that who's gonna ride it first. And after 10 minutes of verbally clashing, we finally settled on that I'm gonna ride it first. While I was happy on my left hand, my right hand held absolute fear of crashing the bike because never in my life I have ever ridden a bike before. But at least I knew how a motorcycle functions. You just start the engine, pull in the clutch, shift the gear into first and give a bit of throttle and boom, you're rolling. Well, it wasn't quite like that when I rode a bike. Even though I knew how an engine works, I still just yeeted the clutch away in panic and almost made me and my cousin taste some delicious ground debris. And my cousin in the back screaming for his dear life, telling me to stop or else we're gonna die. And I just ignored him just the way your ex ignored you when your relationship was in its ending stage. Even though the bike almost made me break some bones, I still couldn't stop. The air in my ear was just hitting different, you know? Since then, I only dreamt of owning a bike. Every day I used to watch reviews of various bikes. One day I wanted to own a Kawasaki 300 and the other day I wanted an R6. I wasn't quite sure with my wants. While I had such expensive dreams and hobbies, on the other hand, I couldn't even afford the toy version of these bikes. Very typical kind of story of every other middle class child. But let us just not put a barrier on our very own thoughts with the tag of middle class. Now let me be a little frank. Even though I could not afford shit, I still had the dumb hope in me that one day I might be able to buy a bike. Why I call it dumb hope? Because every other day as I was growing up, and the desperation of wanting a bike was growing up in me as well. But the possibilities of owning one were just the same, stuck in imagination. I randomly lay down on my bed and just started imagining myself riding a bike like a schizophrenic dumbass. I was really desperate for a bike. No shit I was. As I said earlier, I was switching up every day with the bike I wanna own. Faster than your ex was switching up people behind her back. And one day, I finally settled down on that, then I'm gonna buy a Ninja 300. And I just become obsessed with it. Years passed and I was still yearning about the Ninja 300 with nothing but my dumb hope. And then some more year passed and I just gave up on my dream. Every time I see someone ride a beautiful machine on the road, my face drops and the sadness I had to carry the whole day was agonizing. I don't know bro, maybe I just romanticized my dream a bit too much. A bit too much I guess. Some machines are meant to give you that pleasure of riding, which exactly what the Continental do. It's foolish to compare it with something which is definitely not in the same category. Every machine has its own way of moving on the road. Now don't get me wrong, I love every inch and bit of my Continental GT and I will continue to do so forever. Just these two wheels and an engine has given me happiness that I've never felt in my life. Buying a motorcycle is a complete choice that's made out of complete emotions. Don't let the information you get online divert you from buying the bike that you want. Go ahead, take a test ride, see how it treats you and most importantly, how you treat it. And in the end, if it makes sense to you, that's it, that's your next purchase right there. Because what not is defamed? If you buy a KTM RC or a Duke, you'll be called a chapri. And if you buy a GT650, you'll be called the owner of the slowest 650 in the segment. And so on and so on. It will never stop, no matter what you do. Don't let these foolish comparisons on Instagram Reels confuse you. Everyone and everything is different. Goodbye.